So what was the Shakedown Cruise like? It was just like testing the ship's speed, and stuff like
Shakedown
that?
was the testing that things worked, that was worked on in the yard.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently everything did, although we had a couple of little fires due to scrap material. And, that was about it. And I had never seen a ship operate before, so I wasn't much of a test.
Right. And what was your duties on board when you first got aboard the Indianapolis?
When I first got aboard, I was assigned to gun directing.
Mm-hmm.
And that meant I stood next to the man who aimed the guns with a director. And a director is remote from the gun. The gun moves the same direction as the director, and the director then is away from the smoke and the noise, and he could keep the target in sight. My job was to watch the tracer bullets to see that they were on course to hit a target, and to raise and lower and correct his sight as might be necessary. And I did very little of that because I wasn't aboard very long.
Right.
And we needed, for 80 aircraft, we needed a plane to tow a target.
Right.
And we did a little of that as we left San Francisco, and a little bit more as we approached Pearl Harbor, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only time I saw the guns go off.
Now, when you get to Pearl Harbor, what was Pearl Harbor looking like at this point? I mean, obviously, it had been 5 years since
Well, I was amazed to see very little. We went directly to the fuel tanks and the dock where they loaded oil. The oil lines were loaded aboard our ship with a crane. The lines were all elevated waiting for us. And my pointer director, who ran the director himself, told me in his halting English that this was most unusual. Usually we went to the dock, had to wait a long time before the oil lines, but we got preferred treatment, and immediately they started pumping, and I understand over 1 million gallons were put aboard.
Wow.
We had used that much from the California.
Yeah.
And then we left the dock. We left for Tinian. We were told we were going to the Marianas, but didn't know exactly where.
Right.
And we continued, but not quite as high speed. We made a speed record, which is still a record, going to Pearl Harbor. But never having been aboard a Navy ship, I didn't know that we didn't always go this fast.
Right.
Someone had to tell me that we were going fast, and this was unusual.
Right.
As a matter of fact, it's still a speed record going to Pearl Harbor.
From San Francisco.
From San Francisco.
Right. Now, when did you take the atom bomb on? Was it in Pearl Harbor? Or?
No, it was in San Francisco.
Okay, and you didn't even know it. Nobody knew it, right?
Nobody knew it. We knew we had something aboard because there was a big crate put aboard on our hangar deck, and I get this all secondhand because I never saw our spotting airplane that was supposed to be there.
Right.
I was told about it, but never saw it. They put a big box there on the hangar deck, and they posted a Marine Sentry, and I didn't know whether this was usual or unusual. This was the only thing I ever saw.
Right.
And We got to Pearl Harbor and went through and continued on. I had made arrangements with a friend to see Pearl Harbor on Liberty, but we never got off the ship. We continued right on. We spent 3 or 4 hours in Pearl Harbor. Then we kept going to Tinian. We got to Tinian, and the people who run the cranes, they had hooked up to this box that was on deck, and a lighter came alongside, and there were some admirals and generals aboard.
Mm-hmm.
But don't they always meet a cruising ship like this?
Yeah.
I didn't know.